While certain variables may remain fairly constant, there are other variables that are changing. And some of those variables are not totally in our control. So even though we had a 0.7% positive rate for the numbers that came in, I think about 14,000 or so over that period, the truth is, when you look external to Jamaica, despite the efforts of our team members, the reality is that primary source markets, whether for residents or non-residents coming in, that risk profile is also changing. But it is changing in a way that requires us to assess that risk, not just as one destination, meaning North America, but looking at states within North America and applying a particular risk profile depending on the different states. And that's what we have done in assessing where that risk is greatest and why testing as part of the overall screening process may have to continue. And we juxtapose that against the capacity of the local team to continue in a sustainable way the type of 100% testing. I mean, everybody will be screened, and frankly speaking, we have always screened at our ports of entry. And I think Jamaicans need to recognize that. Sometimes you don't notice it, but temperature checks are done, the nurses are always there, and they will pull you from the line if they suspect, question you, and of course, subject you to further interrogation if necessary, depending on what they're looking for. So that will continue for everybody. But as it relates to testing, we think that we're at a point, and given the capacities of our resources, the public health team, and the infrastructure, where we can now distinguish the risk from one state to the next, and by extension, individuals depending on where they're coming from, and then apply an approach that may not always involve testing. At the same time, I want to just reiterate that not all non-residents will come from a country that is high risk. And the risk profile, we use the determination based on rates of infection, but also we're guided by the WHO, the World Health Organization, and PAHO to conclude on those countries that are high risk or states that are high risk. Where that risk is deemed not to be as great, then testing would not be necessary in those cases based on the designation of the risk. And the health authorities will make that determination. And I just want to say to those who may be concerned that we, in public health, as is the case with the government, will not take any decision that is going to jeopardize or unnecessarily put the country at risk. I close by just giving an update on Norwood and West Kingston. So we did 2 days, Thursday and Friday, June 25th to 26th. In the case of West Kingston, we had a team of nearly 100 or so public health workers in that particular community. We visited 264 homes. We interviewed 721 citizens, and we collected 137 samples. We had 4 positive cases in the first instance, and we discovered 1 additional positive case. And that represented for us a much better understanding of what is happening there. And we did not find a need for quarantining the community. And finally, in terms of Norwood, we did 2 days. That's Friday and Saturday, June 26 and 27. We had 40 staff members there. We did 63 home visits, interviewed 279 persons, collected 165 samples. And through the contact tracing, which is contacts of the original case, we discovered an additional 8 cases. At this point, we did not see the need for quarantining the community. But it just goes to show the effort that is required and why we need the resources in the communities where we believe the risk could be great if we allow a community spread to take place.